Did you know that while many people spend hours on the weekend tidying up their homes, there's a group of housewives who manage to keep everything organized without all the suffering? I'm talking about housewives who follow practical and efficient methods that have been passed down from generation to generation. What if I told you that you can learn these secrets today and never waste your precious free time with mess again? The truth is that most people do everything wrong when it comes to organizing. They wait for the mess to pile up and then try to solve it all at once. Not only does this take a lot of time, but it also leaves everyone exhausted and frustrated. But there is a much smarter way to deal with this. In this video, I'm going to share with you 10 powerful tricks that will completely transform the way you take care of your home. These are tried and tested methods that will ensure that you'll never again have to spend hours trying to get everything in order. And best of all, they're simple techniques that anyone can apply starting today. If you don't learn these strategies, you'll continue to waste your entire weekends cleaning the house, feeling tired and unhappy with the results. But if you stick around until the end of this video, you'll discover how a few small changes to your routine can free up precious hours of your week. Get ready, because the last trick I'm going to show you is the most revolutionary of all. Tip 1. The 2-minute rule. The first secret that changed my life was discovering the 2-minute rule. You know that feeling when you look around your house and see 1,000 things out of place, but don't know where to start? Well, that's exactly what this technique brilliantly solves. The rule is simple as day. If a task takes 2 minutes or less to complete, you do it right away, without thinking twice. It may seem silly, but this small change eliminates 90% of the clutter that accumulates throughout the day. Let me give you a practical example. You finish eating breakfast and leave the cup in the sink thinking you'll wash it later. Then you go to work, come home, and find not only the cup, but also the plate from lunch, the glasses you used during the day, and suddenly there's a mountain of dishes waiting. If you had washed the cup right away, which takes less than a minute, you wouldn't have this problem. The same thing happens with clothes thrown on the bed, shoes left in the living room, mail scattered across the table. Each individual item takes seconds to put away, but when it piles up, it becomes a task that takes hours. When you start applying this rule, something magical happens. Your mind stops piling up that mental list of things to do later. You know that heavy feeling that you always have something pending? It simply disappears. Plus, your house always looks presentable, and you'll never again be embarrassed when someone knocks on your door unexpectedly. The secret is to create a habit. In the early days, you'll have to consciously remind yourself to apply the rule, but after a week, it becomes automatic. You won't even realize you're doing it, and your house will simply stay organized on its own. Tip 2. The strategic basket system. The second technique that will revolutionize your organization is the strategic basket system. Many people think that organization is about keeping everything perfectly in the right place, but the truth is that sometimes we need intermediate solutions, especially for families with children or very busy people. The problem that this tip solves is that moment when you need to tidy up the house quickly, but you don't have time to put everything exactly where it belongs. You know when surprise guests arrive and you need to sort out the mess in 5 minutes? That's exactly what strategic baskets are for. The idea is to place a pretty basket in each main room of the house. One in the living room, one in the bedroom, one in the kitchen. These baskets serve as a temporary place for items that are out of place. When you need to tidy up quickly, simply put everything that is messy into the basket for that room. I'll show you how it works in practice. Imagine that you come home after a busy day and find the living room with magazines on the table, the remote control on the couch, the children's toys on the floor, and shoes scattered around. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, you simply pick everything up and put it in the living room basket. There you have it, a tidy place in 2 minutes. But be careful. Here's the secret that makes all the difference. You need to empty these baskets at least once a week, putting each item in its rightful place. If you don't do this, the baskets will become cluttered deposits, and you'll be back to the original problem. The benefits are incredible. First, you'll never again feel anxious about seeing your house in a mess. Second, when you have guests over, you can make everything presentable in minutes. Third, and perhaps most importantly, you'll stop wasting mental energy worrying about the mess because you know you always have a quick fix at hand. Tip 3, the 15-minute timer technique. Now I'm going to share one of the most powerful techniques that exist for keeping your home tidy without getting tired. It's the 15-minute timer technique, and it works like a charm for people who feel overwhelmed by household chores. The problem that many people face is the feeling that cleaning and organizing the house is a huge task that will take up hours and hours of the day. This perception makes people put off tasks until the situation becomes truly unbearable. Then, when they finally decide to take action, they spend the entire day trying to solve everything at once. The timer technique completely breaks this psychological barrier. You take an alarm clock, a stopwatch on your phone, or any timer you have at home, set it for 15 minutes, and dedicate that time exclusively to organizing a specific space. It could be the living room, the bedroom, the kitchen. It doesn't matter. The important thing is to focus on one place only. I'll tell you how I apply this to my routine. Every day after dinner, I set a timer for 15 minutes and choose a room in the house. Monday might be the living room, Tuesday the kitchen, Wednesday the bedroom, and so on. During those 15 minutes, I work intensely organizing only that space. When the timer goes off, I stop immediately, even if I haven't finished everything. What happens is surprising. In 15 minutes of focused work, you can accomplish much more than you imagine. There is no time for distractions, no time to think about whether it is worth it or not. You simply act. And since you know you will stop in 15 minutes, you do not feel that mental fatigue that comes when you do not know when a task will be finished. Furthermore, this technique creates a very interesting effect. Since you organize a different room each day, your entire home always remains at an acceptable level of organization. It is never perfect, but it is never chaotic either. And the best part is that you only spend 15 minutes of your day doing it. Before continuing with the next tip, if you are enjoying these strategies, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any new content. And tell me in the comments where you are watching this video from. I love knowing where our viewers are around the world. Tip 4, the entry and exit method. The fourth strategy I want to teach you is one of the most effective for staying organized without any extra effort. It's the in and out method, which solves a very common problem: the accumulation of objects in the home without us noticing. You know how it is. You go shopping and come back with bags full. You get presents, buy new clothes, bring home things from work. Little by little, your house fills up with stuff, and you don't even notice until one day you look around and wonder where all that stuff came from. Then you start to feel suffocated, like there's no room for anything. The in-out method is pretty simple. For every new item that comes into your home, an old item has to go out. It's not a hard and fast rule, but rather a constant awareness of what you're bringing in and what you can let go of. Let me give you a practical example. You buy a new blouse. Before hanging it in your closet, look through your clothes and choose an item that you no longer wear to donate or throw away. Did you buy a new book? Choose one that you have already read and don't intend to reread to pass on. Did you receive a decorative object? Think about whether you have something similar that you can keep or donate. This technique works because it creates an automatic awareness of consumption and accumulation. You stop buying on impulse because you know you'll have to give up something you already have. And when you really need something new, you don't feel guilty because you know you're keeping the household in balance. The result is that your home never gets cluttered. You always have free space in your closets, drawers, and shelves. You don't have to do those huge end-of-year cleanings to get rid of accumulated stuff. And most importantly, you learn to really appreciate what you have because you only keep items that you actually use and appreciate. Many people are reluctant to do this at first because they are afraid of getting rid of something they might need later. But the truth is that most of the time, when we donate or discard something, we don't even remember that we had it. and the space and peace of mind that we gain are worth much more than any object kept as a precaution. Tip 5. The final place rule. We have reached the 5th tip, which is essential for anyone who wants to stop wasting time looking for things around the house. It is the definitive place rule, and it will put an end once and for all to that frustration of not being able to find what you need when you need it. How many times have you wasted precious minutes looking for your house keys, glasses, cell phone charger, or any other item you use frequently? This problem happens because most people don't define a specific place for each important object. The result? Things end up lying around the house, and when things get tough, no one remembers where they left them. The rule of ultimate place is simple but revolutionary. Every object that you use regularly should have a fixed and specific place in your home. Not an approximate place, but an exact place. And every time you use that object, without exception, it goes back to that place. I'll show you how to implement this in practice. Start with the items you use the most and that cause the most disruption when they go missing. Always keep your keys on the same hook in the hallway. Always keep your glasses in the same drawer in the bedside table. Always keep your charger plugged into the same outlet. Always keep your remote control in the same place on the couch. At first, you'll need to make a conscious effort to remember to put everything back in its place. It may seem boring, but within a couple of weeks, it will become an automatic habit. And once it becomes a habit, you won't even think about it anymore. You'll simply pick up what you need and put it back in its rightful place without any mental effort. The impact of this change on your life is huge. First, you stop wasting time looking for things. Second, it drastically reduces your daily stress because it eliminates those moments of despair when you are late and can't find something important. Third, your home automatically becomes more organized because everything has its right place. There is an additional benefit that few people realize. When everything has a defined place, you can quickly identify when something is out of place. If someone in your family has messed with your things, you notice it right away. If you forgot something somewhere else, you can easily remember where you left it. Tip 6. The frequency rating system. The 6th strategy is perfect for those who want to optimize the time spent on organization and cleaning. It is the frequency classification system, which solves the problem of spending the same amount of energy on important things and things that we hardly use. Many people organize their homes by treating all spaces and objects in the same way. They clean and tidy places they use every day and places they visit once a month with the same intensity. This doesn't make sense and wastes a lot of time and energy that could be directed to what really matters. The system works like this. You divide your home and belongings into 3 categories based on how often you use them. Category A are things you use daily. Category B are things you use weekly. Category C are things you use monthly or less. In practice, this means that you will dedicate more time and attention to keeping the items and spaces in Category A organized. For example, your bed, the closet with your everyday clothes, the kitchen, the master bathroom. These places need to be always impeccable because you live with them every single day. Items in Category B, such as the guest room, that closet with utensils that you only use occasionally, or drawers with documents, can be organized once a week. They don't need to be perfect every day, but they shouldn't become a total mess either. Category C items, such as the attic, that drawer with old electronic cables, or closets with seasonal items, can be organized once a month or even less. The important thing is that they are at least functional when you need to access them. This approach is revolutionary because you stop wasting energy on things that don't impact your daily life. Instead of spending 2 hours perfectly organizing a cabinet that you open once a month, you use that time to keep the kitchen that you use 3 times a day spotless. The result is that you can keep important spaces organized without killing yourself with work. Your home becomes more functional, you feel more satisfied with the results of your efforts, and you still have more time to enjoy life instead of constantly organizing. Tip 7. The night preparation technique. Tip number 7 is one of my favorites because it completely transforms the quality of your mornings. It's the nighttime preparation technique, which solves that morning chaos that leaves everyone stressed before the day even begins. You know this situation. The alarm clock goes off, you get up in a hurry, go to pick out clothes and find nothing clean or ironed, look for your keys and they're gone, want to have coffee and have nothing prepared, leave the house already nervous and late. This cycle repeats itself day after day and gradually erodes your energy and good mood. Nighttime prep completely breaks this pattern. The idea is to spend 15 or 20 minutes the night before preparing everything you'll need the next morning. It sounds simple, but the impact is transformative. I'll tell you exactly how I do it. Every night, before I go to bed, I set out the clothes I'm going to wear the next day. Not just the clothes, but also the shoes, accessories, everything I need to get dressed. I leave everything organized on a chair or a specific hanger. Then I go to the kitchen and prepare what I can for breakfast. If I'm going to make coffee, I leave the grounds already measured in the coffee maker. I'll just have to turn it on in the morning. If I eat fruit, I leave everything washed and cut in a bowl in the fridge. If I make a smoothie, I leave the ingredients separated. If I eat bread, I leave it in the toaster. Finally, I organize the things I need to take with me. Wallet, keys, documents, purse, or backpack. I leave everything together in a specific place near the door. If I have a special appointment, I leave everything related to it separate as well. The result of this little nighttime routine is magical. You wake up in the morning and within 10 minutes you're ready to leave the house. You don't have to think about anything, you don't have to make decisions, you don't have to look for anything. Everything flows naturally, and you start the day feeling calm and in control. In addition to saving time, this technique drastically reduces morning stress. You stop living in that desperate rush every day. And when your morning starts well, the rest of the day tends to flow better too. Tip 8. The preventative cleaning method. We have reached the 8th strategy, which is a game changer for those who want to keep their home clean without spending the entire weekend scrubbing. It is the preventive cleaning method, which completely reverses the traditional logic of household cleaning. Most people wait for the dirt to build up before doing a deep clean. They let the bathroom get grimy and then scrub it with harsh chemicals. They wait for the kitchen to get sticky and then spend hours trying to remove the stuck-on grease. This approach is not only time-consuming, it is also much more labor-intensive. Preventative cleaning works in the opposite direction. Instead of waiting for the mess to set in, you tackle it while it's still fresh and easy to remove. It's like the difference between cleaning up a freshly spilled sauce and cleaning up the same spill after it's been stuck to your stovetop for 3 days. Let me give you some practical examples of how this can be applied. In the bathroom, instead of waiting for the shower to get crusty, you squeegee the walls after every shower. It takes 30 seconds and saves you from having to scrub hard afterwards. In the kitchen, instead of letting grease splatters stick to the stove, you clean it up immediately after cooking, while it's still soft. Another example is with mirrors and glass. Instead of waiting for them to become foggy or have marks that are difficult to remove, you can wipe them down regularly with a dry cloth, keeping them sparkling. With floors, instead of waiting for dirt to accumulate in the corners, you can sweep or vacuum them frequently, preventing dust from settling. The key is to create small cleaning habits that become automatic. After you use the bathroom, you automatically check to see if you need to take a quick wipe. After you cook, you automatically wipe down surfaces. After you eat, you automatically wipe down the table. The benefits are enormous. First, you spend much less time cleaning overall, because prevention is faster than cure. Second, your home is always at an acceptable level of cleanliness, never reaching that embarrassing critical point. Third, you no longer have to dedicate entire days to deep cleaning, freeing up your weekends for more enjoyable things. Before I move on to the next tip, I want to tell you about something special I prepared for those who want to go beyond this video. It's a complete guide with organization secrets that completely transformed my home and can transform yours too. The link is in the pinned comment, and for a limited time, I'm offering a special discount for channel subscribers. Now let's continue with the next tips, which are some of my favorites. Tip 9, the decompression zone strategy. The 9th tip solves a problem that almost everyone has, but few know how to solve. It is the decompression zone strategy, which eliminates that mess that always forms at the entrance of the house and in other strategic points. You know that situation. You get home after a long day, walk in the door, and just throw everything everywhere. Keys on the living room table, bag on the couch, shoes in the middle of the way, coat on a chair. At the end of the day, it looks like a hurricane has passed through the house, and you don't even know how that mess got there. This happens because there is no specific, organized place for you to unwind when you get home. You need to take off your shoes, put away your bag, hang up your coat, and leave your keys, but there is no system designed for this. The result, everything ends up in a different place, creating instant clutter. The decompression zone solves this by creating a specific and well-organized space near the entrance of the house where you can make this transition in a civilized manner. It could be a corner of the hall, a part of the living room, or even a space in your bedroom if you live in a very small place. I'll show you how to set up yours. You'll need a place to sit and take off your shoes, which could be a stool or chair, a hook or hanger for your coat and bag, a shoe rack or organizer for your shoes, a tray or hook for your keys, if possible, a small mirror to check your appearance. The idea is that when you get home, you go straight to this zone and make the entire transition in an organized way. You sit down, take off your shoes, and put them in the right place. You hang up your coat. You put your bag on the hook. You leave your keys on the tray. You look in the mirror and mentally prepare yourself to relax at home. This small change has a very interesting psychological impact. You literally leave the stress of the day at the front door and enter your home in relaxation mode. Plus, you'll never waste time looking for keys again because they'll always be in the same place. The best part is that your home will never look like a war zone again right from the entrance. When someone comes to visit, the first impression is always positive, and you feel more organized and in control because you have a system that works automatically every day. Tip 10, the weekly review system. We come to the 10th and final tip, which is the secret to keeping everything running smoothly in the long run. It's the weekly review system, which ensures that all the other methods you've learned continue to work and don't become a mess over time. The problem many people face is that they start out super motivated with new organizational systems. They work well for a few weeks, and then everything goes back to the previous chaos. This happens because there is no dedicated time to check that the systems are working and make adjustments as needed. A weekly checkup is like preventive maintenance for your home. Once a week, you set aside 30 minutes to walk around your home and check that everything is working as it should. This isn't about doing a deep clean, but rather identifying what needs to be adjusted. During this review, you'll check to see if any of your strategic baskets are overflowing and need to be emptied. You'll also check to see if any of the designated locations for important items aren't working properly and need to be moved. You'll also see if any areas of your home are accumulating clutter and need special attention in the coming week. It's also a good time to assess whether the habits you've created are actually working in practice. Maybe the 15-minute timer technique works better at a different time. Maybe you need to adjust your decompression zone because you've discovered you need more space for bags. Small adjustments can make all the difference. Another important aspect of the review is planning the following week. You look at your schedule and identify if any days will be extra busy and require extra preparation. If there is a special event that will cause more chaos than usual. If you need to set aside extra time for a specific organizational task, the most valuable thing about this review is that it keeps you aware and in control of your home organization. Instead of letting things happen and then having to chase after the damage, you always stay one step ahead You identify small problems before they become big ones. Over time, this review becomes quicker and quicker as your home becomes more organized and your systems become more and more automatic. But even when everything is working perfectly, these 30 minutes a week ensure that it stays that way. It's the investment that makes all the difference between a temporary change and a permanent transformation. We've reached the end of this video, and I hope you've seen how small changes in the way you think about organization can completely transform your relationship with your home. We're not talking about spending more time cleaning and organizing, but rather working smarter. The secret is not in being perfect, but in creating systems that work automatically. When you apply the 2-minute rule, use strategic baskets, work with a timer, assign specific places to everything, classify by frequency, prepare the night before, do preventive cleaning, create a decompression zone, and do weekly checks, your home will practically organize itself. Remember, you don't have to implement all of these methods at once. Pick 2 or 3 that make the most sense for your current situation and start with them. As these become a habit, gradually add others. Sustainable change happens step by step, not overnight. Your home can be your haven of peace and tranquility, not a constant source of stress and work. You deserve to come home and feel relaxed, not overwhelmed with tasks. With these strategies, that's not only possible, it's inevitable. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these tips are you going to start applying today? Tell me in the comments which strategy caught your attention the most. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, don't waste any time. Subscribe now and activate the bell, because every week I bring new content to transform your home into an even better place. See you in the next video.